The Growlers are back. 2 episodes in 2 days. How do you like that? Obviously, the last episode, for those of you that missed it, well, you have about 3 seconds to click off of this video and go watch that one, then come back. Okay, those 3 seconds are about up. The last episode was an outright disaster for this team, missing the playoffs. The draft was really nothing special. Sets the stage for this offseason where we have some tough decisions to make. So we're going to get right down to business here. Now, the first step, it's a tough call, but we're going to qualify Geet and Penner. The hope is that we get a offer sheet on one of the two, even if it's a lower draft pick. We need it at this stage. We'll see if that happens. On the flip side here, I think I want to end up signing Papineau. So unfortunately, Jacques Dubois has to go, the 7th round pick in 2029. You're on the way out so that Nick Russia can be re-signed. For the defensemen, obviously half of our defense corps has their deals currently up. Bates is not worthy of that contract, but we'll try. Belmar as well, the ridiculously drastic fluctuations in overall has been an issue with him. Jamison Camacho needs to come back. Mr. Deschamps as well, a very disappointing figure for us at times. So it would technically be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 with Brassard. Hate to say it, but Jacques Labrie, the 19-year-old 7th round pick just 2 years ago, obviously there's no way you're ever going to make it. We're going to cut you. And Matthew Bellehue, 4th round pick in 2032 as well, is also going to have to go. No reason to risk signing you. From there, though, we do have Cody Vandenbush, who's a 5th round pick in 2032. I feel more comfortable in signing him than re-signing Keaton Cyphers, who was a 3rd round pick in 2029. So Cyphers is going to be cut. We're going to hold on to Vandenbush and hope for the best. Then there is also the likes of Bouchard, who I hate to say, isn't going to improve at all. We might as well just cut him and give that ice time to somebody else. And then, one of the close to OGs, Oscar Plandowski, just never panned out skied. That was, yep. He's gone, is the point. Oscar, thank you for your service. And that'll do it there for the defense. For the forwards, again, some more tough calls. Philippe Réaume is the real interesting one, where I have to be honest, I'm going to see if we can get an offer sheet for him. I just don't know if he's the guy. We've seen that overall fluctuate a lot. It's worth seeing if we could get a decent offer sheet for him. Then, of course, we have Duchesne, who will look to re-sign. We have Boucher, who we will look to re-sign. And then from there, it gets interesting. I want to double-check anybody who might not be worth bringing back based off of potential. Cracknell needs to be signed for sure. 3rd round pick in 2032. We'll sign him to his ELC. Then there's also Francois Boumediene, or Boumediene, I guess it would be. I heard it pronounced Boumediene once upon a time, but I guess it'd be Boumediene or Boumediene. I swear to God, the old commentary used to call it Boumediene, though. That's why I pronounce it that way. And if it's right, then cool. If it's wrong, then fuck it. Caden Krause. I mean, I doubt you're ever going to make it, but we got to sign you. We need to hope for the best here with some of the development. Same thing here with Francisco Likens. 6th round pick. We're going to look to bring him in to hope for some late development. So we'll advance today. Likens signs. Duchesne. Belmar rejected. Duchamp signs. Sauvé rejects. Camacho rejects. Yeah, this is going to be a problem with certain players rejecting their extensions. Even Nick Russia rejected that contract offer, so that's a problem. And then this entire group is going to prove to be problematic here in terms of re-signing, and that is not good news for us. Granted, these guys aren't good. We've gone nowhere with them. Unfortunately, as we talked about, the forward group developed a bit too fast, and we didn't get the defensive help we needed. And some guys not developing appropriately really did screw us, but we'll continue on as best we can. And then for the forwards, no one really rejected. So the question is, how many people do we have signed? So the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with Cogliano, 11, 12 with Denny Pepin. So then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so really we need 4 more forwards. It's basically all we need. 4 more players. So obviously we're going to take the highest overall, the guys that still have some potential. So I hate to say it, but Pete Para, the 2027 second round pick. God, that shows you how bad the second and third rounds have been for us over the years. Pete Para is going to be outright dropped. Next up, oh boy. I mean, again, you look at all of these RFAs. It's out of that gigantic group. Hate to say it, but Alexander Lalonde, 20 goals last year in the AHL, third round pick in 2026. You know, you see some of those offensive stats, and it's close, but it's not close enough. He is going to be dropped. Then we have Jordan DeMay, first round pick, 4th overall in 2022. You know, over 738 NHL games, but at this stage, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. So Jordan DeMay is going to be cut. That really sucks, but it had to be done. And now we're looking at having to cut 2 more players. So, I mean, it's obvious Duchesne, Orr, and Gill will be sticking around. I don't think we could get a qualifying offer on either of the top 2. Drouin Delorier is only 24, so he stays, which means it comes down to Marcourt or Bochenski. And I'd trust, wow, okay, that shifted to Corazzini. I can't believe that's still broken. Jesus. What about Bochenski's stats? Good playmaking. The offensive awareness isn't that good. Can't really skate. I think we're just going to go for Marcourt being the more well-rounded player. He's a defensive gem, even though he's a sniper, which means the player type, I think, should naturally be able to grow. That's one of my things. I don't think the player type should be a defined role. I think the player type should be based off of the player's attributes. So that way, if someone comes out of the draft as a sniper, much like we see in real life, you know, how many guys are drafted here? Let me just say, for example, the 2010 NHL draft. I just, you know, pulled the 2010 number out of my ass here. Let's take a look. So like Hall, Sagan, they stayed offensive. Gudbranson stayed offensive. Brett Connolly, for example, 6th overall pick. Like, oh my God, this guy's going to be an amazing goal scorer. He still is. But, you know, at times he's played more of a defensive kind of role. You know, obviously you get someone like Dylan McElrath as well. I was hoping for better examples. Austin Watson, 1st round pick. You'd hope for more out of him, but let's be honest. You know, his role has been, you know, bottom 6, physical presence, defensive presence. Same things with the likes of Nick Bjorkstad, Bo Bennett, Riley Sheehan. Jesus Christ, all these guys were 1st round picks this year. So, you know, a lot of guys, you know, you think, oh, 1st round pick, they're going to be in the top 6, you know, shoo-ins. No, not always. And that's the point. I think Donovan Marcourt should have developed into a 2-way forward. That said, let's go ahead and cut Miles Bochenski. And we'll look to keep Donovan Marcourt. And then obviously we have some RFAs where things might have to change up. So somebody still rejected a contract. It was Justin Gill. Again, we're going to see what happens with Realm. Maybe he gets some kind of crazy offer that could make it worth having him leave. If not, then we obviously keep him. But I at least need to see all of our available options that are out there in terms of letting these guys go to free agency as RFAs. As Justin Gill resigns, we do have to redo the coaching staff. We just lost a great goalie coach. You know, I didn't even bother sending out an offer, which is fine. We should be able to keep everybody. And let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, again, this coaching staff's pretty goddamn good. There is no other A+, but there is an A in McFarland and in Simpson. And McFarland has great teaching. So, to be honest here, I think we look to drop you to AHL head coach. I want to bring in that other generalist there as the associate coach. Either one of these two. NHL associate coach. Doesn't matter which one. I'd prefer it to be McFarland. But either one. I'd be more than happy with them signing on, filling out that role, and having our coaching staff be pretty much top-notch. From there, where's that goalie coach? Because he was a B grade, wasn't he? Could have sworn he was a B. Maybe not. He might have been a B-. So teaching-wise, there's a C- goalie. B. Ooh, a B- though. Let's go for the A+ and the C-. Sally, good old Sally Lindgren. Would you please be our AHL goalie coach? And from there, the only thing to do is to double-check our scouts and make sure we still have all at least A- scouts. So we'll just send everybody an offer here. Quick and easy, no reason to jump cut or anything as we get this team set. Now, I will say this, too. Comment section of yesterday's video, there was a lot of talk of, oh, well, you know, Doogie, if you're considering ending things here, we're not giving up. At least not yet. You know, talk about that overtime game and what it could mean for us. But right now, we're not giving up. We're sticking with this. Simpson signs, which is okay. I mean, again, we didn't get McFarland, but hey, we at least got one of the top 2 coaches in terms of overall that was available on the market. Sally signed as the goalie coach. Now we just await to see what happens with the RFAs. McFarland would have accepted too, but that's okay. I just wanted to save some time. So here we go. Are we going to hear back about any of our RFAs? And to be honest, I think if we were going to, we would have by now. It's already August. They're not going to be signed. Ooh, maybe not. Okay, so Sylvain Guite was offered by the Oilers, but obviously there'd be nothing there. So we're just going to match the offer and hold on to Sylvain. It's a shame there that we wouldn't have gotten anything. Philippe Rayom is still an RFA, and it looks like he's going to be staying with the team. Not a single offer for Philippe Rayom, which is tragic. So that whole idea of having RFAs just blew up in my damn face. So Philippe Rayom will be signed, and then Penner, I think we're just going to sign as well. We'll move forward a day. So that's a bit of a shame. That was kind of a last-ditch effort to try and get some extra draft picks that could really help us out here in the interim. And unfortunately, that did not happen for us. So in unsigned players, we're looking at Moses. We're looking at Papineau, who I think really would have benefited from AHL the time this year, but we just don't have room to fit him in. All right, so I said that I had no jump cuts to make, but I've had a hell of a day. Don't know about you, but you might find out that you're not alone here in a second, because I am the type of person who never gets the hiccups. But when I do, it lasts for at least 45 minutes and hurts like hell. And it's happened to me 3 times today now in less than 12 hours. So it feels like I got punched right in the chest by a prime Mike Tyson wearing brass knuckles. So I'm having a time, let me tell you. But that said, I want to introduce you to the team for this season. I took the time where I felt like death to set up this team. And yeah, we're taking a different approach again this season. This time we're going to optimize line chemistry, and we're also going by overall as opposed to hoping to get some players to develop. So obviously some of these higher overall guys are going to have to succeed in the special teams department to really get the point and totals that we're looking for. But the top line does have a +5 with Philippe Rayom, Guy Boucher, and Jaden Hines. Now, Jaden Hines is still in that kind of sweet spot where he could still develop. It's going to be his 3rd season. Last year was not great for him. Guy Boucher, we know in the past, has been able to put up 50 to 70 points. So hopefully he can get back to that. He did score 23 last year. And then Rayom, 74 points, Rookie of the Year last year, or 2 years ago, I should say. 43 points last year. So again, we just don't know what to expect from him. Second line, Cesar Duchesne has a great opportunity here. 78 overall, 25 years old in his 2nd season. Has a tremendous opportunity alongside Zach LaRue and the captain in Cole Huckins. Third line is Jan Loshing alongside Wes Corazzini, so we'll see what happens with him and Jacques Lapierre. I'm hoping Corazzini and Lapierre can work out pretty well together, because Lapierre, he's been a solid player for us. He also has 800 games played. Now, the fourth line, Pascal Duchesne is with Tim Orr, making his debut, and Aiden Hannon down to that fourth line. It's the best for the chemistry, so that's what we're going to do. Defensively, Hugo Laflemme is still here now at 27 years old alongside rookie Jacob De Silva, hoping that +5 helps him out a lot. Philippe Sauve is on the second pairing with Pierre Leroy, and Sean Bates is with Jamison Camachi. The goaltenders, Cousineau and Geet. Russia as the healthy scratch. And then in the AHL, we're trying to rely on getting players to develop. So you see some of the names that are here. I mean, mostly medium top nines at best, aside from Gail Cracknell, the rookie, but it's pretty dire. I know having Boumedienne here on the fourth line is a bit of a risk because of that potential, but it is what it is. And then defensively, we have Vandenbush alongside Antoine Brassard, Oulet alongside Aaron Sim, and Louis Deschamps down to the third pairing in the AHL. I mean, it's brutal. And then Penner is with Jamie Morgan. So we'll see how this goes. Guys like Marcourt, Bellemare, DeRoche, scratched. I mean, Donovan Marcourt, we had tremendous hope for him once upon a time. And that no longer exists, unfortunately. So the team is set for the beginning of a new season, and we are going to sim said season in this episode. We're going to find out if the Growlers are making their way back to the playoffs or not. In terms of ratings, 85, 82, and a 79. We're better than the Jets. We're better than the Jets on paper. Will that last? Who's to say? But it does say a lot for this team. I mean, well, it doesn't technically. I guess it means we're better than one NHL team on paper. I haven't even looked at who's available in the upcoming draft because, to be honest, I'd rather not think about it. I don't care who's in the upcoming draft. What do I care about? I care about the playoffs. I want to see this team make the postseason again and live up to any sort of potential that they have. I can't sit here and say that our maximum potential is the Stanley Cup because I don't know if we're good enough to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah, we got within just a few wins of making it to the Cup final, and we'll continue to talk about that for the rest of time. But, for the most part now, it's just waiting to see, because the frustrating thing has been 1 second, we make the playoffs. The next second, we are the worst team in the league. It really just, the lack of consistency with this team is the most frustrating thing. And even then, we've seen it this season. I really didn't want to allude towards it, but we started off hot, and now we're, losing record, kind of close to 500 again. 39 points. We technically wouldn't be in a playoff spot right now. This division is weak, and we're still not on top of it. So that's a bit of a problem. Rayom, Jesus, that +5 is doing nothing. That +5 is doing nothing for these guys. 5-on-5, they're getting crushed. Okay, I mean, I think we can say it. The chemistry doesn't matter. It's not mattering for this team, at least. Maybe the overalls just aren't where they need to be to make it work. Camachi and Bates are a disaster together. Goaltending-wise, Cousineau's out. I've had enough. He has been the starter for long enough. It's clear that he just doesn't have it. So Russia will be sent down. Penner is going to be called up, and it'll be a Penner-Geet tandem here in the interim, because I am sick and tired of Cousineau not getting the job done. Aside from that, I think the best strategy that we can take now is to just go with the highest overall players and see what happens. Now, Bellemare has bounced back to a 77. De Silva isn't doing that badly, though, so I think we'll keep him. But Jamison Camachi can again kick rocks, and we're going to go with Bellemare. We'll give him a chance. Bottom line is, right now, if someone's not getting the job done, they're out. The big issue with that is I don't exactly want to lose Bates on waivers, but we might have to. Aaron Sim's going to get the call up, and Sean Bates, for the moment, is going to be a healthy scratch. Can't believe I'm saying that, but it's got to be done. And then here, Loshing's been okay. Boucher hasn't been. To be honest, with the forwards, we're going to try something different. you could argue that maybe some of these other guys deserve a bit of an opportunity, the defensemen, to work around the line combos and see what happens and see if, we can unlock something with those defensemen. But yeah, I don't really feel like giving them time. I just don't. So we are going to be bringing in Belmar, and Bates will be taking a seat for Sim. And we'll see what happens from there. We keep that +5, which is nice. We'll just stick with that. And then forward-wise, Hannon's dropped down to a goddamn 80. Let's just base it off of overall. Why not? We got nothing to lose if we just base this off of overall and hope for the best. And if this doesn't work, then I'm just going to have to drop certain people. It's pretty straightforward. So LaRue will be back on the top line. Hines will be with Hannon and Huckins. And it will be Huckins at center. And then here, who's the best center? An 81 in faceoffs for Duchesne. And then a 68. We'll go with that little setup there. That's going to be the team now. Again, is it worth making these changes when we're close to a playoff spot? Yeah, because let's be honest, we're kind of screwed otherwise. At this point, I will treat it just like the playoffs a few years ago. If someone's not getting the job done, they take a seat, sit down, and get out of the way. Because damn it, if we're going to lose, we might as well lose while giving people an opportunity to improve. We're at 25, 18, and 7. Currently atop the division. 6 wins in our last 10. So we're at least winning games. And we'll sim another month here and see where we're at the conclusion of this month. And we're still doing pretty damn well for ourselves right now. All things considered, we might have found a decent little combination here. So we'll get through deadline day, of course. We never make trades. And, 33, 21, and 9. All of a sudden, this team caught fire getting rid of certain people. Hugo Laflemme has been dominant as well. Let's take a look at the goaltending. As Penner has a 902, Geet a 911. It works. Kusna was at an 899. It's not as if they were significantly better. The big argument right now is, the hell do we give someone like Morgan or Russia a chance, although Nicky Rue has been pretty damn bad in the AHL so far. Defensively, the De Silva-Laflemme pairing is certainly working. Belmar and Sim, are at least serviceable. I'm going to put Belmar with Leroy. Actually, no, we're winning. I won't change it. Forward-wise, Boucher, 21 points, but it's just been abysmal 5-on-5. Tim Orr's actually been great. So my biggest complaint right now, Hines hasn't been that great, and Boucher just sucks defensively. But we'll stick with it for the moment. We're clearly close to making the playoffs. We don't have a gigantic lead in the division, but we're still doing all right. Staying above 500 here. That was a pretty rough week for us, but still 2 points clear. Game at hand for the Sens. We're still in first. And a loss to the Rangers doesn't help. A loss to the Panthers does not help. Let's see what we got next. A win over Philadelphia. We are dead even with the Ottawa Senators. We do beat Calgary. I think they won their next game as well. So the big question, I think, now heading into this, I'm not too happy with Penner either. I'm not too happy with Cousineau. I'm not too happy with Penner. Sylvain Geet, I think, is the only guy we can be happy with. And, you look at there at the goaltending, I think Geet is our guy heading into the playoffs. We got to make sure Sylvain Geet's our guy. And then you look at the rest of the team, defensively at least. All right, Sim and Belmar work. Sauvé and Leroy, not so much. They're not brutal. I think all these defensemen have at least earned themselves a spot in the lineup here. And then forward-wise, Rayom's a good point producer. I'm not happy with him 5-on-5. Hines, just meh. He's not great, obviously. He's not horrible. Boucher, man, 28 points, but a minus 19. It's like, when is enough for him where it's like, oh, okay, he puts up points. Yeah, but he's a complete defensive liability. The good news is we're going back to the playoffs. End of the day, talk about what changes we could make. I'll leave that room for discussion, in the comment section here, although we are just pissing away an opportunity at winning a division title. We need the Sens to lose their last 2 games, and they didn't. So the Ottawa Senators are going to take the division, but we are going to make the playoffs, and we'll be taking on the Florida Panthers. We do have home ice. Growlers and Panthers, so kind of a hurried pace to this, but damn it, it's rip the Band-Aid off and find out what the hell's going to happen. We completely pissed away an opportunity at an easy division title. But you know what? We made it back. We are back in the postseason, damn it, and that's what we needed. I mean, goals for is somewhere in the middle. Our defense and goaltending is decent. It's just the big question now of who the hell is going to be in the lineup. Our power play at 24% was probably top 10. Our penalty kill was somewhere mid-table in the grand scheme of things. We've kind of seen, and we'll continue to see here, who underperformed and who didn't. Corazini was pretty damn good. LaRue was pretty damn good. Rayom was solid. 5-on-5 is a little bit questionable defensively. Tim Orr had a fantastic rookie season. He may have won the Calder. Huckins was... like third line numbers. Same for Hannon. 20 goals, though, still, because he had power play time. 39 points for Duchesne, 33 for Lapierre. Lausching, same thing. Decent offensively, but questionable 5-on-5. Same for Boucher. I mean, we can't take Rayom out of the lineup, but Lausching and Boucher, I don't know what the hell to do with them, because they're already on the 4th line. Sure, they're putting up points. They both... we know they can do that, but they both are just miserable defensively. And then Hines, despite being in the top 6 all season long, only 27 points. So that's the tough spot we're in right now, right? I mean, 90 points, by the way, for Hugo Laflamme. Jesus. That's the tough spot that we're in right now. I mean, clearly Sean Bates wasn't getting it done. I'll see if I can send him down to the AHL. I'm done with him. The tough decision right now is who makes it into this lineup. How much do we change, despite the fact we made the playoffs? Sylvain Guite is obviously our goaltender heading into this postseason matchup of Florida. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys. I mean, let me know. What do you think the line combination should be? Who should the personnel be? As Connor McDavid is apparently a member of the Philadelphia Flyers. Let me know. There's a bunch of different ways we could look to build this team. Do we leave players in? Man, Laflamme probably just won his first Norris. There's no way they can give it to Ryan Merkley or Kel McCarr, right? I might give it to Mendoza off of that plus-minus. Regardless, I really, really hope that, number one, we win a Norris, and secondly, that this postseason goes well for us. That's all we can do is hope. I wonder if McDavid was traded for Carter Hart. That'd be crazy. Rookie-wise, yeah, I think Tim Orr just won. I mean, granted, Markkanen and Milson both put up at least 30 goals, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. A lot of questions, a lot of possibilities, a lot of combinations for this team heading into the playoffs, but again, that's the big news of the day. We're back in the postseason. Anything can happen once you're in the playoffs.